I will be live in New York at the City Winery doing an on-stage live performance. You guys, please show up. The tickets are on sale now. Check the link in the description box and in the comments below. What? Okay, wait a second. All right, War Room. Don't panic. Don't panic, War Room. Okay, just let's think about this, okay? Let's think about this in the comments below. The news is Dimitri Bivol has relinquished his WBC title. He informed the WBC that he's relinquishing his WBC title so he can take on Better BF in the trilogy, all right? Wait a second. And immediately, the WBC has upgraded David, the Mexican Monster, Benavidez, from interim WBC champion to WBC champion of the light heavyweight division. That's the news, all right? Now, let's get some point, because this is so fresh off the press, I don't have a take. So I'm going to think this through with you guys. First and foremost, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh said that he was no longer interested in Bivol versus David Benavidez, and because he wanted the trilogy. Remember? Now, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, the purse bid was going to start for Bivol versus David Benavidez. Bivol decided to relinquish the title to just no purse bid tomorrow. That's over. So he has already committed to Better BF Bivol 3, which that's what Turki Al-Sheikh was interested in. Remember, Turki Al-Sheikh made that statement, I have faith that Bivol knows who did right by him, or something like that, right? So it looks like Bivol's going to take Better BF in the third fight. Fine. It's not going to be for Undisputed. So now it's just a personal thing, but for Unified of the other titles. Okay. David Benavidez loses his opportunity to fight for Undisputed. Rather, he becomes WBC champion, which isn't odd by the WBC. If you recall, when Lomachenko became franchise champion, Devin the American Dream Haney was upgraded from interim to WBC full-time champion. That's what it was called. So they do that, all right? So David Benavidez doesn't have to fight for a vacant WBC title. I'm just thinking things through. He's finally champion, but here's what many of us call in the boxing community an email champion. So now that's what we'll call email champion. I don't think David Benavidez is happy with all of this. So when it comes to Bivol, the initial idea would be, oh, Bivol ducked David Benavidez. That's difficult to say because he's deciding to take on Better BF in a known difficult fight to see who's better between both of these two fighters. Me, I don't have to see it again. But I can understand if you are a warrior, a gladiator, and that's your op, instead of Canelo and Triple G fighting twice and then waiting forever, and Triple G is over the hill, then they do it again. To do it back to back to back, I have no problem with Bivol making that decision. I don't. But I just want to know from the War Room. Many of you will say he's ducking David Benavidez. Everyone ducks David Benavidez. Some people will say, no, that makes sense. But it's too bad that's not for Undisputed. That's where the sanctioning bodies come in. So you guys may have an issue with the WBC here, but the WBC is following their rules of mandatory, which a lot of times those mandatories are in the way. For me, I think unification trumps mandatory. So if Bivol is talking about Better BF and making that promise that he's fighting Better BF, then I think he should hold the titles. That's what I think, since they'll be fighting. But, oh, wait a minute. No, that's different. See how I'm thinking this through? That's not for unification, because Bivol is already undisputed. The WBC is within their right to strip him. Fine. Okay. So that's, like I'm saying, I'm thinking this through in real time. So no, I was wrong because Better BF has no titles. So yeah, okay, fine. So this is just a personal vendetta and want to get the score, who's better between Better BF and Bivol. Fine. This can be a brilliant move for boxing. Let me think optimistically. We all want to see David Benavidez versus one of those boys, Bivol or Better BF, because we've seen them against each other multiple times. But whoever wins that will have to fight David Benavidez to become undisputed. If Better BF wins, Better BF would want to fight David Benavidez to become undisputed again. I would think, but I could be wrong. Bivol and Better BF now have been undisputed at least once. So they've accomplished that. Would they really want to become undisputed again? What's the incentive of doing that other than wanting to be a badass? This is difficult wait a second. Let me think about this. Let me think about Canelo. What does this mean for Canelo? Now I'm thinking. What does this mean for Canelo? Canelo has a 5-fight deal with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. He gets past Crawford, which I think he will. He does want to fight Bivol, right? He does. I think there is a plan for him to fight David Benavidez. I'm not kidding. Let me think about this. The WBC, they love Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez is now within the WBC champion pool. He's now WBC champion. Canelo Alvarez is fighting to be undisputed again against William Skull. If he beats Crawford, he'll remain undisputed. If Bivol versus Better BF, the winner becomes unified. I would only assume that the winner will fight David Benavidez for undisputed again. The road all leads to Canelo Alvarez. This feels to me, and us as boxing fans, we're going to be thoroughly entertained on this storyboard. If this is a storyboard, this would be the Canelo Alvarez storyboard. Because Bivol versus Better BF for a third fight. Let's just say Bivol wins. Canelo's licking his chops, all right? Because he'll want to fight Bivol immediately if he gets past Terrence Crawford, which I think he will. If he gets past William Skull, hell. If he gets past William Skull and Terrence Crawford, he'll be licking his chops because he'll want to fight Bivol. But Canelo Alvarez wants to be the best, I would think. I would think if Better BF wins or Bivol wins, let's say David Benavidez fights the winner. Let's just say it's Bivol. Let's just say Bivol beats Better BF. And then he fights David Benavidez for undisputed. If David Benavidez wins, that's undisputed at light heavyweight. Canelo Alvarez, undisputed at super light heavy. That is His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh will fork the money to make that happen. If Bivol wins, if he have beaten Better BF twice, and then beat the Mexican monster, become undisputed again, you have a rematch with Canelo Alvarez and Bivol. Undisputed versus undisputed. Either way, it is a perfect end of career story for Canelo. Because if Benavidez becomes the man at the top of the hill, Canelo versus Benavidez is at least a 2-fight fight. At least. That is money in the bank. If Bivol comes out on top of the hill and it's Canelo versus Bivol, Canelo will have to win, making that another trilogy story, making, hell, Bivol be a damn monster at that point, beating Better BF twice. I'm just saying this is all a what if. And beating Canelo once before. Listen, bro. If you look at the big picture, if you look at right now, you want to panic and say, Bivol duck, ha! Let's think this through. Optimistically, this seems to be a giant story because Turki Al-Sheikh is placing himself in a position because he's already invited David Benavidez out to Saudi Arabia. The PBC has no problem with working with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. You know, here's the thing about the PBC. There are people who like to put PBC in a demographic box, right? That's not even them. They have no problem being universal and working with. El Rayo versus Pitbull was on a Real season card. Check it out if you forgot. That was 2 PBC fights. That was a Real season card. The PBC isn't in the small box that y'all put them in. They actually get into the bag, all right? We just saw them in Australia. Put together an Australian card. The PBC is international, and people like to put them in this little a box, a race box, and a national box. That's not the PBC. Well, that's definitely not where they're going. Smarter than that. Dave Benavidez already invited out. We are looking at a phenomenal, dare I say, a Canelo Alvarez story. Win, lose, or draw. Because Canelo, if he gets past Crawford, that's a big bag if he fights Crawford. Big bag in September. If he gets past Crawford, get past William Skull, become undisputed again, get past Crawford, all right, in a pound for pound type of fight. Now he's looking at his biggest ops. David Benavidez at light heavyweight and Bivol at light heavyweight, or the three-headed monster. He is Godzilla, because there's no way I should my friend to block out my friend, better BF. That's my brother. So he is Godzilla looking at Githra, the three-headed monster. He's looking at, if he gets past Skull and Crawford, he is looking at Githra, better BF, Bivol, David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. That is the king of the monsters. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. I'm getting excited about this. This shit, I see the play, but I had to talk it through. I promise you, I hit record and I talked it through. I'm not even going to edit this shit. I'm just going to give you guys the at the beginning and show you guys the receipts. Let's sit back and enjoy the ride. I think this is a phenomenal play. And shout out to the WBC. This is a political play too. The WBC immediately making David Benavidez WBC champion. This is a political play too. It sounds like the Canelo story. It's the king of the monsters. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz little dog. I mess with it. I don't need to see Bivol versus Better BF again, but I'll watch it. Oh my God, I'll watch it. But I know how much it means. And it's the right thing to do. It's the righteous thing to do. It's the warrior thing to do. I just want to rush to David Benavidez versus Bivol. I just want to rush to that. But if you want to be real, good play. I'm out. Huh.